Now then, good day, it's Monday and it's about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, on the cautionary tale, I gotta get the blower out and blow this drive off. On the cautionary tale, I had an email from Richard and a couple of other people and questions about. Richard's primary question was, I'd said it wasn't feasible to live here off the British state pension, and could I explain? Well, it's very simple. I retired here 5 years ago at 65 years old, and 5 years ago the British state pension was about £150 a week, and as Thailand is a non-aligned country, my pension will never go up. I get no benefits, I just get the pension until the day I die at £150 a week, £600 a month. And it's, you can imagine what inflation will do to that over the years. I mean, already over the 5 years it's had a dramatic effect because prices are going up. So I've got mates here, Brits here, who have still got residences in the UK, and they have their pension paid into a UK bank account, and according to the British government, they still live in the UK. So so they get the winter fuel allowance, they get a rise every year. I mean, I think in April I think it went up to £200 a week. Don't quote me on that, I don't know, but that, you know, you get my drift. The situation is, I'm down at the bottom part of the garden. The situation is that if you want to rent a property here, again, I've got a friend who rents a nice apartment off Soy Bacau, very modern complex, swimming pool, gym, everything, and he pays 10,000 baht a month for that, plus he pays water, plus he pays electricity, and I think there might be a small service charge in that as well. I've got another mate up here who rents a lovely property sat on 2 rai, which is a little less than an acre, and he's paying 3,000 baht a month for that. Now, going back to pensions, British pensions, when the British government know you live here and you don't get the rises, they pay your pension in local currency. So I get paid in Thai baht. So I haven't got any control on when I exchange. I get whatever exchange rate is at that day, and as the pound is going weaker and the baht is getting stronger, effectively people like me are being squoze or squeezed even more. Tomatoes ready for harvesting. All these have got to come out this week. I'm scrapping all these and starting again. There's lots of fruit on there, but basically they're done, these vines. You always get one, don't you? There was one guy, I think he's called Doc, D-O-C. Potato, tomato, tomato. I learned to speak properly. It's Isan, not Isan. Well, I've got mates who live in, I will say Pattaya. He says Pattaya. I think the Aussies say Pattaya. I've heard Thai girls say Pattaya. Isan, for God's sake, get a life and grow up. My response to him, well, the first word rhymes with duck and the second word is off. So, climbing up the garden here, that's a lemon tree, that's rambatang. In front of us we've got kaffir lime and mangoes and different things down here. So Richard asked about growing things here. So it's a growing climate for sure. It's difficult sometimes in the very dry season unless you've got adequate water to irrigate your garden, because it does go absolutely well dry. Costs of living here, well, that is how long is a piece of string, isn't it? You've got situations where Richard doesn't drink. Now I probably spend about 8,000 baht a month on beer. My two biggest expenses for sure are beer and gasoline for the car. The gasoline, well, how much am I using it? Where am I going? I used to go all around the north videoing. That was quite expensive, but I don't anymore. If I go up to the city, return journey to the city probably cost me 400 baht in fuel. I mean, fuel, I was filling the tank up from running on fumes to right up to the top, 1100 baht a fill, sometimes less when Trump was in power and fuel was down. Now a fill, I'm looking at 1900, so you know, not quite double in price, but it did get to one point where it was doubled in price, and that has a big effect on your budget. There's some mealworms out for my feathered friends, and this is due to be changed. Top the water up. There's comments that the seed feeder had failed. Absolutely, we just don't have the seed feeders here. And I put this post feeder here, packed with peanuts and mealworms. Well, we'll see if the birds find that. It usually takes them a little while to discover new things, but they will discover it sooner or later. Now then, where was we? The cost is how long is a piece of string. It's how you want to live. We pull loads of veg out of the garden and loads of fruit. Fruit and veg is cheap to buy here. I will go to the market and I'll stock up on some veg, and you can see, and some meat, and you can see exactly what the prices are. Well, I'm now in the centre of Turn. Now here's one of the pharmacies. There's about 6 major ones in Turn, and I can get a year's supply of aspirin, my daily aspirin, for a couple of 100 baht. This market is on 7 days a week. Raw fruit at the front end, dry goods in the middle, fish on the far side, meat at the end, and then the veg market off on the left. And right behind there's a supermarket and all clothes. Some bean sprouts. 10 baht. 10 baht.
10 baht.
Thank you, darling. So tonight's going to be chicken and bean sprouts with oyster sauce and chips. Thank you. Potatoes. Potatoes. 1 kilo. So a kilo of potatoes, that's 2.2 pounds. I'll have a collie because I want to make some cauliflower cheese. Have a couple of carrots. Onions, 1 kilo, 1 kilo. And a kilo of onions. Katod, katod. A kilo of onions. No celery. Tell her die cap.
180 baht.
180 baht, 100 บาท 10. 200. Now round to get some chicken. This is the red meat section, well, pork and beef. The dry section in the middle. Wet, there is all the fish. Now eggs. 30 free-range eggs will cost 125 baht. Non kilo. So a kilo of chicken breast. So for any Americans watching, a kilo is 2.2 pounds. Bad tip ha, 85 baht. So 2.2 pounds of chicken, 85 baht. 85 baht, it's about 2 quid, 2 pounds. A couple of dollars. Bye bye. Car tax, I think it's a couple of thousand baht a year. Fully comprehensive car insurance. For me, my car's 10 years old now. Bought it new when I came here, the Honda. And for me it's about 16,000 a year. I'm about to renew that today, tomorrow. A car service at Honda is about 4,000 baht. These are things you've got to take into account. You know, if you buy or rent a property with a decent piece of land, you've got to maintain the land, and in that maintenance, no doubt, will be grass cutting. So you've got gasoline. I mean, I've got the mower here, the ride-on mower, and we've got lots of the brush cutters, which we use. So they all add up. So my pension roughly is just less than 30,000 baht a month off the British government. Now, could I survive on that here on our own land? Bearing in mind we have no rent to pay, everything's bought and paid for, we have absolutely no debts whatsoever, we've got solar, we've got our own water, so we've got very minimal electricity charges. Could I survive on that? Yes, at the moment, this year. But I couldn't run the car on 30,000 baht a month, that's for sure. I couldn't have my 4 cans of Leo, 3 or 4 cans in a night on 30,000 baht a month, not happening. I would be living here on a British pension very frugally. In fact, I would probably be living miserably. You know, my internet connection, I have unlimited internet connection, and that costs, I think that's about between 500 and 600 baht a month. It's broadband, it's as fast as you like. I can go on Pirate Bay and download a full film in less than 5 minutes, so there's no worries with that. Gas for cooking, a bottle of gas, I think it's a £35 bottle of gas, costs now, again, that's gone up dramatically. That's about 400 baht a bottle, and a bottle of gas lasts us probably about a month and a half. So these are little incidentals and then you've got, you know, clothes or tools, or I mean, I shop online. If there's something I want from Lazada, I order it and buy it, you know. Me and I, we really go out at night. We went out for dinner the other night with Adrian and Pen, and we went Dutch, and it was about 700 or 800 baht for me and I for a nice dinner. If you like to eat bread, I do. I don't care for the Thai bread you can buy. It's far too sweet and soft. I think it's rubbish, personally. You may love it. So I buy a wholemeal bread from Macro, and that's about 70 baht a loaf. It's lovely, and a loaf will probably last me 3 days. So, you know, you've got, you know, no, you've got 300 baht a month on bread there. It all adds up, it all mounts up, you know. And the last thing you want to do, the very last thing you want to do, is to come to the end of your life, your retirement, and be scrimping and scraping and having to sit in because you don't have any money to go out. If I hadn't sold my business and came here with some cash, I would have, no doubt I would have ended up here because of we'd bought the land and we built the house years ago. If you come here on what we call a retirement visa, you need to have 800,000 Thai baht tied up in a Thai bank account. If you marry a Thai and you get a marriage visa, you need to have 400,000 baht. Now that you can take some out of that 800,000 as throughout the year, but I think it's got to remain a minimum of 400, and then you've got to top it up a couple of months before you apply for your visa, and it's got to be in at that high level a few months after you've got your visa. So effectively, I mean, I just leave the money in a separate account and it's there, you know. So you can get hooker visas. I've got a number of people I know are on hooker visas, predominantly down in the resorts. Again, I'm speaking of Pattaya, and I speak of Pattaya because I haven't been to Phuket and I haven't been to Samui, and I'm not interested in going anywhere really. I'm more than happy here. So yeah, to get a hooker visa with a visa agent, they take your passport, they put the 800,000 in a bank account, which they have control of, obviously. They get the visa put in your passport, they take the 800,000 out and they give you a passport, and for that they charge you anywhere between about 13 and 15,000 baht a year. So that's a cheap way of doing it. Clearly there are certain people in certain authoritative positions that are in on this scam, shall we say, and I can't say any more about that. But I have a number of people I know that are on that visa. It just gets them over the hill, I suppose. I'm not doing it because if you get caught, then you'd get deported, and you can get prison. So it's not, for me, it's not advisable. But each to their own. So I had another comment from Aussie Steve, said, tongue in cheek, said, "Oh, all your jacks are Brits. Is there something to read into that?" I predominantly know Brits. I mean, I know Americans that have had to go back, and I know Australians that have had to go back, but I predominantly know Brits here. Good community around here. I mean, up in Turn, they've cleared some land adjacent to the main highway, next to the big hotel just north of Turn, and it's a big plot. It's about 25 rai, which will be 10 acres, and they're building a housing estate there. So that's quite big. It's north of the town. It's about maybe 9 kilometers from me. So I've got to go to the market later. I'm gonna buy some veg on camera and some meat, and you can judge then for yourselves. Don't come here on a wing and a prayer. Don't come here on a wing and a prayer. It's, you know, you're not being fair on yourself if you're not adequately prepped up. And I know you could say that living in an apartment or a rental house here would probably be better than living in an apartment or a rental house in Rotherham in Yorkshire, for example. And I'm not having a pop up Rotherham, it could be Wigan or Preston or Woking or anywhere, you know. I know cost of living in the UK is going through the roof and pensioners are struggling, but in the UK you have got social services, you have got help, and you've got free medical yet, etc, etc. Here you are predominantly on your own. You can get health insurance. Tom has just done a video. Tom, digital nomad in Rayong. Tom's a Brit, a fantastic guy. Tom's just done a video on a medical insurance scam. So you just got to be a bit smart. Cheaper isn't always better, as they say. So I shall I hope this has been helpful. I hope it's been helpful. How much you need to live here per month, that's dependent upon your lifestyle. If you want to sit at home and make jigsaws or watch the internet quite cheaply, but if you're going through the hot season and it's roasting hot and you want the aircon on, then that's going to bump the price up. Okay, see you later. Bye bye for now.